Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. And I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And I understand sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe and share the videos, and comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member, so I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't either. You can also use the super chat, which is located above the YouTube chat box, and you can donate any amount you like, and multiple times too. You can also, by the way, your support, helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. With your memberships, you'll get special badges and stickers that Sparky and I can see in the YouTube chat box. Also, unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm only here twice a week, so if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel at Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt, and place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his Junar XL, and I'll receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, your future support. You are making it happen. And I want to please ask you to keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do or say around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to now post a link at Stunthangar Forum. So let me do that now. And the link will be posted momentarily. Okay, and this is how you get into, if you are one of our many viewers and you'd like to come in here. I'm trying to get my mouse to cooperate. Where is my mouse? Just give me a second. There it is. I have one of those trackball mouse, and sometimes it gets away from me. So I just posted the link in Stunthangar Forum. And so anyway, so you need to go to Stunthangar Forum, register if you're not a registered member, and sign in, and then go to At the Bench, and then you'll see the link that I just posted just now. So now I'm going to go to Sparky's YouTube channel. Like I said, this is not my channel. This is Sparky's. He's given me the keys to the kingdom over almost 2 years ago. And so I go to what I call the control panel. And that's where I can see everything, see the stream, see what's going on. And that's how I keep track of the chats and see how many likes and how many new members we have, and super chats. So when I say that we haven't been getting a lot of super chats, this is new. Hang on a second. It's looks like Lynn's coming in. I got to enter my password. It's the first time this has happened during a live stream. Hey, Lynn.
Hey, Charles, how are you?
Doing well.
That's good.
This is a Canadian show right now, it looks like.
All the Canadians are here. Who's on, Stuart?
Yep, yeah, Stuart's on.
Okay. How you doing, Stuart?
Good. So you ready for tomorrow?
I'm as ready as I'll get. 9 ringmasters ready to go.
9 ringmasters.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, 9 ringmasters in the 9 ringmasters in the house.
And most of them are mine.
And most of them are Naomi's.
You heard Ken? Is Ken coming? He's supposed to bring me one to use tomorrow.
Okay, well, if not, I got lots. Don't worry.
All right.
We won't leave you short. Yes, sir. I'll be out there at 8 o'clock.
Oh my God, I won't be that early. I had a bad day today.
Yeah, what happened today?
Oh, just fatigue.
Okay.
Hey, Keith.
That happens.
How's it going? Thank you for coming in. And thank you for coming in, Stuart.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Let me see. I'm trying to I gotta verify who I am to get in Sparky's YouTube channel. So just give me this is the first time this has happened. So let's see here.
We're popping in like crazy tonight.
Hey Jim, thanks for coming in. And Brendan, long time no see. Thanks for coming in, Brendan. And Gary Sinclair.
Yeah.
How you doing, Gary?
Yeah.
Gary.
And
Hi.
Mike. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
I don't know if we've met before. Have we met before?
No, this is my first time.
Well, thank
All
you for
right.
coming in. I appreciate it. So, Mike, do you fly control line or RC or slope? What do you do?
No, I fly control line. I left RC a while back, got hooked on control line, and here I am.
Good stuff.
Very good. Very good.
Where are you from, Mike? Where are you from, Mike?
I'm in Dover, Delaware.
Okay.
Okay. Are you close to Mark Wise? He's in Delaware too. You know Mark Wise, Mike?
No, I know he's the district rep. I got 2 or 3 audios going on at the same time here.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I could tell you was having a little difficult time. We'll give you a little bit of break. Let me go to the control panel anyway. So I had some company and some in-laws, and it just they just left, so I'm a little bit behind. Let's see here.
What happens when the outlaws visit?
The outlaws. Oh, I love that. Oh man, I'm gonna borrow that, Lynn. Oh, that is
the outlaws. When the outlaws come to town, you know, it kind of screws everything up for the day.
absolutely. But they're really nice people.
I know. I'm only kidding.
I know, but sometimes they're not, right? I mean, it can
Oh
happen.
yeah, some of the in-laws can be outlaws for sure.
It can happen. It can happen. I'm just finishing up here, and I'll be giving you guys my complete attention in just a second. All right, looks like Jack Snavely. He said you are light, and he has these. He has a smiley face and airplane stickers. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate that. That's Jack Snavely. And then Tom Rammel says like provided. And Gary Sinclair, you're a VIP, Gary. Thank you for doing the like and coming in. I appreciate that very much. Like provided. Thank you, Gary. And looks like we have 13 concurrent viewers and only 8 likes. So if you haven't smashed that like button, please do that. The analytics, they really can work for you or work against you. So please hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a penny to like the show. You don't even have to like the show. Even if you did do it, give us a dislike. That doesn't really hurt us as much as someone might think. But just do something. It doesn't cost you a thing.
Charles, if you're not on here, how do you bring up the YouTube feed for the live stream on YouTube? How do you get to it?
You can open up another tab and then just mute it. As long as you mute it.
No, I understand. I understand that. What I'm trying to figure out, if somebody who's not on here like we are, right, wants to just watch it on YouTube, what do they type in to get to it?
Oh, they just go to Stunthangar on YouTube. You'll see all of Sparky's
on YouTube. How do you get to it?
You can open up another tab and then just mute it. We got a loop going.
No, I understand. I understand that. What I'm trying to figure out, if somebody who's not on here, like
someone has an extra tab open. Oh, they just go to Stunthangar. Yeah, if you just close the other tab, that will go away.
On YouTube. How do you get to it?
You can open up another tab and then just mute it.
I understand that. What I'm trying to figure out, if somebody who's not on here, like
has an extra tab open. Oh, they just go to Stunthangar. Yeah, if you just close the other tab, we're overdue for this. It's been such a long time, right?
Yeah.
And just it's going to keep on looping. If someone has an extra YouTube tab open, just close it, and then that will stop looping. All right, it sounds like we're gone. So, yeah. So Lynn, you just go to. Matter of fact, you might want to check out Sparky's YouTube channel. Anyways, there's a lot of good videos on there. But so I'm on Sparky's channel right now.
Okay.
And that's how you would watch them. Matter of fact, that's how I sometimes watch the replays.
Okay. Because I brought it up, and I saw all the replays that are there, but I didn't see tonight's live feed on there.
Yeah, because he hadn't posted it yet.
Or maybe because it was just a little bit early. But just give
me
1 second,
that was right at 9:45.
Give me 1 second, you guys. I got a visitor real quick. Hang on. Yeah, Charity.
Yeah, I just go up there on the YouTube and just hit the little magnifying glass light, and then it come up and then type in Stunthangar, and then hit that.
Okay.
And that's what gets me, because otherwise it won't refresh, So.
Okay.
Hey Gary, this evening, I don't know if you saw it or not. I sent you an email with a potential picture for the calendar with Anchor and I. So I don't know if you're still taking pictures or whatnot for next year's calendar, but I sent you one this evening.
Okay.
Great. All right. So I'm back and my visitors left. So anybody do any flying or do anything in the shop they want to share?
We tried some clown racing and we have a video show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, well, it's go ahead and share. You know how to get started, and then go ahead and share it.
Can you get us in share mode, and then I can go with the video? Or
I think it's already set up.
Share desktop. Share your entire screen. Okay, share. So can you see the screen here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Got the screen. We haven't got, so play it. All right.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
All right. So yeah, I won't give you any build up other than this was our first attempt at electric clown racing. So I'll let the video speak for itself.
All right, first time racing at home.
I like that. You got your pit boss there, helmet equipped and everything. Fantastic.
Yeah, getting the whole family in on this.
I guess that's the advantage of having a whole family. You can actually have a race.
First comes the race, then comes the fight.
Yeah.
Over who won.
All right, she got one off. Oh, you guys are brave. I'm impressed.
I can understand why she's wearing the helmet now. So
Yes.
I'm just looking forward to her pitting them both. So.
Wow.
Ah!
Uh-oh.
One down.
Took Dad out.
Oh my goodness.
I thought she was going to take the car.
All
and
the
leave.
trauma is caught on tape here, fellas.
That is cool.
All right. I'm kind of.
Hog-tied for a second time.
I think you need a helmet too, Brendan.
All right. I'll stop it there.
But that's cool.
That's fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So obviously it didn't go as planned.
No.
Actually, today was the first day I was reviewing the tape on it, and what I realized is I got stuck just going in circles and not walking in a circle. So when he got up and going, I wasn't walking behind him, but then his lines got right under my plane, and next thing you know, like we're twisted then. So
You never pass under, you pass over.
yeah.
That's it. Passing under is
Passing
it's
under is
possible,
the
but it's
kiss of death.
awfully tough. So
No, it's the kiss of death.
that's
And
it.
then
You pass
And then
under, it's
finally-
pretty much over.
yeah.
Mhm.
No pun intended.
That's right.
Very,
The final
very,
piece
very
here
cool.
is, you couldn't see it, but the lines then started, the lines started wrapping around him. So he eventually got
Yeah,
hogged.
exactly.
He
That's
was able to
exactly-
keep it going. So he landed the other plane safely, but at the end, he was completely hog-tied from.
Yes.
Yeah, racing can be
That one
dangerous.
survived. Yeah, this one, not so much.
Oh, yow.
Let me make it big here. I'm a little behind you guys. There we go. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one's got some work to do to it, and the elevator got messed up, but orange plane came down just fine.
Okay, you can't take those off in the grass there? That's why she was hand launching?
Yeah, the tires are pretty small on these things. Like, well,
Okay.
these definitely maybe like 1.5 inches.
Yeah, like they might make it, but they might not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're so small that, like, I don't know. I just get a little worried they're going to turn in, and then we're going to have disaster that way.
If the grass is cut short, and you give it, go ahead.
Yeah.
What was that?
Somebody was talking.
Maybe that was Howard, Mike, would be my guess.
I thought it was Howard.
Yeah, I think Howard's doing a flight. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's holding a plane, so he's not doing a flight.
It's dark here now,
Yeah, that happens, huh?
so I'm rolling up the lines and going in.
All right.
It's like Keith has got his hand up there.
Thank you. Let me catch up here.
A question for Jim Hoffman. Jim, are you still there?
Yeah, he's still here. He's
I am
mic muted.
here.
Question, you were talking about those nylon inserts for your lead out guides the other day.
Yes.
Where do you get those? I'm out or running out.
Let's see. I know Warren has a pile of them.
Okay,
I think they were made either by Roy Trantham or perhaps Ark Galdetsky.
yeah, I think I got mine from Roy. I'll see. Yeah, I'll be there via C and we'll see what happens.
Well,
Hi, Phil. Thanks for coming in.
oh, glad to see you. Well, hear you. I
Phil.
can't
Yeah.
see you yet, but I'll be there in a minute. I
All
guess I'm
right.
going to have to back out and come back in because all I see is Zoom meeting. It won't come up, but I'll be there. Be
All
back
right.
in a minute.
Heath, Jim Lee just made me some of those things out of I guess
There
J
you
and this other stuff.
Out of which?
I guess J. Remember Michael Murray?
Yeah,
He saw those things, and then I told him get some made out of this IGUS stuff. So he did. He got Jim to make him some, and he gave me a pair. There may be some more of them running around in his estate, but Jim Lee just made me some new ones out of that stuff.
okay.
Are these the same thing that look like brass eyelets?
They're not like
They're
they're-
like brass, but they're
I know they're not brass, but are they the same shape, same idea, where it's kind of like a funnel?
Same idea, but they're made out of
Metal?
white nylon.
Give me a moment,
Roy-
I'll get one.
Roy
All right.
Trantham had
Here's
those made. Yeah, I
Howard.
remember that.
Howard showing
Yeah,
one.
Howard's got them up there.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Roy had those made. I'd like to find some too.
yeah. These are Roy's.
Yeah, I'd like to find some of. Oh, Howard, that car I was telling you about, it was the S model that I like.
Oh yeah, that's what we got.
That's a nice car. I like that.
Yeah.
All righty. Hey, Brendan, somehow you didn't get a chance to finish your train of thought.
Yeah, I think people were about to say something about launching it on the ground with the small tires that we got, small wheels.
Yeah, it'll work. It's just that you have to give it up right at the beginning and get it up quick. You can't roll it through the grass. Basically, on the launch, you give it full up, the plane takes off, and then you level off right away.
Okay.
But we race them up here in Ontario, that size airplane, like the Sig Buster and Shoestring, or we used to.
Yeah, that's it.
That's interesting.
If y'all
The
find
end
a source for those,
is,
I'd
end
like
is
to
very
have some of them
different
too.
than I expected. Oh, that's very neat, Jim.
Is that threaded or,
Was that
or something like that?
Is that Delrin or is it nylon or plastic or?
Not doing that well.
No, you're doing
I
good.
think it's either Delrin or ultra high molecular weight polyethylene. It
Yeah.
could be nylon.
It's just a press fit.
Yes.
To press fit, you don't thread them in. Okay.
No, it's just a light press fit. And there's some clever ways to make the lead out guide to get the
Mhm.
nice, neat slot.
Mm-hmm.
But
Have you ever had a lead out wire cut through that or put a groove in that? Because I've
No.
cut
Oh, no.
through the brass ones.
I've used it for years. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, Paul Walker probably has 100 billion flights on these now.
All right,
So
well,
where'd
thank
you
you,
get
Jim.
those?
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that.
So, but it's the lightest approach I've ever found for adjustable lead out guides.
Where do you get them, Jim?
I've just learned that Jim Lee will make them.
I'll get in touch with Jim then.
And I've gotten them from other people that aren't doing it commercially. They're machinists.
What's his last name?
Lee.
L-E-E.
Oh, Lee. Okay, Jim Lee. Okay, yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Lee Machine Shop.
Okay. If I knew it, I just ordered some stuff from him. If I knew that, I would have grabbed some.
Yeah, I'll
I
have to
don't, I
order
don't know
a bunch
that
of them too.
they're on his catalog.
Yeah,
But-
he has stuff that's not
Jim's
on.
got a catalog?
Yeah, he's a catalog, but not everything is on it. But most things are on his catalog. But he has some things that aren't listed on the catalog.
He'll make you whatever he can.
That is for sure. He will. He's made me quite a custom one-off things for me.
Oh,
nice.
that's neat.
Uh-huh.
That's quite a great idea, leaving the
Yeah.
center one attached.
And it looks like it's easier to grab too compared to the brass
way
eyelets I
I've-
was using.
Yeah, the way I've always cured that was I cut it all the way across instead of leaving the center one in. And then I drilled a little 1/16 hole above and below it.
Thank
Just
you,
enough to
thank you, Keith.
put a little metal U in it to hold it together. And then if I have to take it back beyond that, I just pull that out, move it back, and then put the U back in. But that would work just as well, if not better. I like that.
Let me welcome Mike Lonke. Thank you, Mike, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hey, Michael.
And in the chat box, Jeff Riley says, like sent, building some new landing gear as we chat. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate that. And then T-Bone 1260 gave us a thumbs up. Thank you very much, T-Bone. And then Dennis Adamison, he says, hi, everyone. Don't forget to deliver your like. Thank you, Dennis. And then Mark Lumen says, got your like, was not hard at all. That's right, it's easy. Just hit the, smash the button.
I just did it.
And Carl, thank you for coming in, Carl. Appreciate it.
Dennis, I took
Yes,
your
sir.
advice. I took your advice, did that yesterday. It's supposed to be here Monday. It'll probably be Wednesday with this weather we're having, but I ordered it.
Ordered a set of plans.
3 sets, actually, 2 for that and 1 for a firecracker.
Yeah. By the
I've been
way,
wa-
if you guys haven't seen it, if you're interested in any plans, AMA has their plans on sale. I don't know for how long, for 20% off. So if you're
He
into,
told me, but
if
I've
there's
already
any
forgotten.
plans, which are, the library is pretty incredible. You can get, and Phil, you were able to get them to scale the plans in the way we
Yes,
talked.
sir, the scale you said.
That's
The one,
fantastic. So they did.
the one more, so it's legal.
Yeah, yeah. And they, and there's no glitch on that or anything like that.
No,
Just tell them
she
what
didn't
you
have any
need,
problem
right?
at all with it.
So
She didn't have any problem at all with it.
that sounds fantastic.
Yep.
All
I
right.
got 1 set that and then 1 set full scale so I can build the built up. I've always wanted to, well, I hadn't always, but I've been thinking for a long time about building that plane with a 72 4-stroke in it. That would sound real, look real. I think it'd be neat. And if
That's
it's 60
it. And you could, you could fly it with your right arm, and then as it pulled out, you could hold on with your left hand before it left your shoulder blade, right? So
yeah, really. It'll pull
that's
like a
it.
truck, but I mean, I've got a Ray Bearcat and I can hang on to it, but I fly it I might fly it once or twice a year because it does pull like a truck.
That sounds about right. So
Yeah.
So Angstrom, am I boring you? You yawning on me? You're the youngest here.
Little tired.
So Angstrom, what do you got there? You have a bislop?
Yeah, we have a bislop. We got it from a raffle at the Cleveland event.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we went to the Cleveland event, and I checked the video from a couple of weeks ago. Dennis kind of covered the Cleveland stunt event, but wanted to share some things from that, experiences and whatnot. As you guys know, like Angstrom's finally got the full pattern down, so that was our first event doing the whole thing. So
Congratulations.
yeah, the first day, I think he entered 3 things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he came in second on the ARF arc, which I think there were only 3 folks, but he did beat one guy out. So it was an accomplishment for the day, and just getting through the pattern, no planes in the ground or anything. And then the second day with the Pampa stuff, I was nervous, I know, because 6 guys signed up for intermediate. How about you? Were you nervous?
I was a little worried. I was a little worried to be in all my competitions.
You were worried in all of them?
Yeah, I was a little worried.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of a breeze too. We fly in such calm weather here that I don't know, for you, having a breeze is helpful, but it's a little trickier. But he came in second on the intermediate Pampa stuff. So
very good. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's cool.
Whole thing was just a lot of fun and success, and great event. And then the other thing we kind of learned was we originally took a Pathfinder and a P-40. Those were the planes we flew on the first day, and he brought that Twister that you all have seen, the flashy looking one with the chrome. He brought that one just kind of as a backup if something went wrong. But we put a counterclockwise prop on it, which we've never done before, and flew it the night before the Pampa event. And he was getting better stuff in the outside loops and just had better tension. So he decided to give it a go for the Pampa event with the Twister, and brought it home with that. So it was just a good flying event. I can't say enough about the Cleveland event. It felt like they had a good range of events to be a part of. You know, that's one of the things for us and maybe others as you get around to some of these things. You know, if you only got kind of 2 things to fly in, you know, is it worth, you know, driving 4 hours, 5 hours to some of this stuff? But they had a good assortment of events that we got involved with, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Very,
good
very
flying
cool.
site and a well-run meet. A lot of nice people. Had a really good time that weekend.
Yeah, and then at the end, you know, this was kind of the spoils. John Paris won a plane and gifted it to Angstrom, but then we kind of haggled a deal because I think we've talked about having to buy slot in the past. He's put one in the ground a couple of times, and it's a bag of parts right now. So the fact that he could kind of swap a deal with a guy to get it by Slav, he's pretty excited to give it another go here.
All
Very,
right.
very cool.
Hopefully this one will make it.
Yeah, I was sitting 2 circles away, and I kept seeing this flash burning a hole in my eyes through my. It was this chrome banshee on the far circle. He hit the sun and boom! You know, I mean, you could hear the light. You know. Jeez. That's
These
it.
young kids have no respect.
No, well, whatever.
I think our goal is try to blind the judges so they look away and they don't see that, you know, the corners aren't so sharp and things like that. And just
Well, I don't know if you got a second in intermediate there. That ain't a bad way to break in the airplane, introduce it to competition. So
yeah,
Very, very
and
cool.
the other thing that was fun too, Dave Rigotti, I think that's his name, was flying in the intermediate event, and he had gifted us a twister. We went to that event maybe 3 years ago. He had gifted us that twister through Mike Alamov, and it eventually got in our. And so it was really cool that he was there, and we were then able to turn around and say, "Hey, look, this flashy, you know, looking twister here. That's the kit that you donated to us." And then we, you know,
that's cool.
So yeah, I think that was kind of a surprise to him because, you know, again, he kind of gifted it through someone else, and we were able to say, "Hey, here it is. Your kit's in the air on the end of his line." So it was just a great event all around for us. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Let me welcome Mark Wise. Thank you, Mark, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, guys.
And also, I want to acknowledge Chris there in Mike's shop and Sam Lonke. Hey, Sam, and hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys.
So, I have a few more chats. Just to give me a second here. Jack Fashnaut, he says, Charles, what is the advantage of, or if any, for the plugged lead out versus the sliding kind? And then
Lighter
Jeff
weight.
Riley said, Jack, the plugged lead out is a shade lighter, and there's no surprise if you don't tighten the bolt enough.
Yeah. I got a question for Jeff. How's the junkyard dog coming?
That is a good question. Maybe you'll chime in on that.
Yeah, I hope so. He's been building that thing about as long as I've been building my airplane. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to race with him, see which one of us can finish first.
Yeah, I think I can also, I'm in that same camp. I started Precious Balsa probably around the time you started Junkyard Dog also.
Yeah.
That happens.
Oh yeah. Life gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So anybody else do any flying? You did some
can't even
flying?
fly kites here right now.
So Dennis, tell me about your adventures with is it the Stuka stunt?
Well, yeah, the last 2 days I've been, you know, basically the contest season is over and everything like that. So I've just been catching up on some of my old airplanes and getting them out. And there's a bunch of things I was trying to set up on Spectre lines and stuff. I've got a whole bunch of old timers and other airplanes. They're all right around 32, 35 ounces or so. They're, you know, same size, weight, and everything, float basically the same lines. And I have been able to fly them all now on the Fins 40G, the 45-pound test, 009 thickness. And I've got 3 airplanes now, same handle, same lines. The only thing different is the upline clip, which stays with the airplane. But I can take and move it from airplane to airplane, and my handle's set and everything like that. And I think what I'm finding, you guys, I know I repeat myself, endlessly here, but I really think that size, that class of airplane really benefits from the Spectra lines, maybe more so even than like the SV11 class and stuff like that. Thing being, lighter line tension and stuff like, there's with less line drag, I think, line friction, I should say, the effects of having less line tension aren't as prominent. And of course, the 009 thickness, every one of these airplanes used to fly on 015 stainless steel. So the line size and weight is, far different. So I don't know, just having should I say, just getting reacquainted with old friends. So.
Very good. Very, very cool.
Sounds neat.
I do have a video, but it's kind of, well, it's a full stunt flight, and there's a lot of people here. I think maybe we should just be talking before we do.
All righty. Mike, I wanted to ask you a question. Mike, what's your last name, Mike?
Morrow,
Morrow. Okay.
like tomorrow without the 2.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're gonna bow out. Pretty tired.
All righty. Thanks for
You
coming in. I
guys take
appreciate
care.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Take care. Appreciate it.
Take
So,
care,
Mike,
guys.
Are you do you mostly fly stunt, or do you fly anything else besides stunt?
Well, like I said, I left RC 3 or 4 years ago when I got hooked on control line, but I've been flying all by myself and taught myself everything over the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm just basically trying to learn the pattern. I don't fly with anybody else. Nobody in my club flies control line. So
That's too bad to be out there in the desert like that. I hate that.
yeah, but it's been fun. I mean, I've been, I read a lot on Stunthangar and that kind of thing. So, I've gone through most of the crashing stage and been able to keep airplanes together now. So
I know what
Where
that's
about
like.
you located?
Dover, just outside of Dover, Delaware.
Okay.
Oh. Hey,
How
Mike,
far is it?
you need to talk to me.
Oh, you're the AMA guy for our district, right?
No, I'm the president of Tampa, but I'm also actually I am the AMA guy, associate VP for your district, but I can get a hold of you personally and with some other people if you want to be doing some flying together.
It'd be kind of neat. I went down to Hurlock a couple times and just watched the contest down there. But, like I said, I've been pretty much flying by myself. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you flying glow or electric, Mike? What are you flying?
All I fly is electric. That's when I left RC. I just kept with my electric stuff. Excuse me.
Sorry.
So
what plane are you flying mostly?
right now I got 3 Bob Hunt hole shots that I've got built. I got a Fantarized twister and a Ringmaster ready to go. Well, I was going to go this weekend, but the weather's so lousy here, so probably next weekend. But
that hole shot's a neat little airplane, isn't it?
yeah, it's been good. I mean, I had a couple of Skyray wings, and I put them, use that wing in that whole shot fuselage, and I mean, they're good flying airplanes for me. I'm, haven't been flying long enough to tell if it's really good or bad, but
well,
those are right.
I like to piddle around with them, and when Bob came out with that, when they published that airplane, I bought a set of plans to it, and then bought a foam wing for it from Bob, and put one together with foam wing and put one together with a wood wing. Just wondering, okay, at that lighter weight and the same motor on the same airplane, which one is going to fly better? And I can't tell a darn bit of difference.
Yeah.
But I put wheel pants on it. I put, I dialed it up just like the one on the plans, and painted one yellow and one white. I couldn't tell a darn bit of difference in either one of them. I ended up giving both of them away. But that's a cute little airplane. Just really, really flies nice.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not one you take out. it's not one that I take out and fly with my flying buddies here because they all think, why are you flying a plane like that? Because I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
you can enjoy this stuff. It's not
yeah.
against the rules, you know?
No, but I have two grandsons and two
Yeah.
grown grandsons, and then I got one that's 6 years old. And the 6-year-old wanted the yellow one, so he got it. And
Uh-huh.
one of my older grandsons decided he wanted the other one, and he got it. So you win some, you lose some. I don't know if I'll ever get them to fly them, but they got them.
Well, one step
I
at
gave
a
my daughter
time,
a
Phil.
plane years ago, and she let her boyfriend fly it because he knew how to fly. Figure 9'd it right straight over the other side and bammed it in.
Yeah,
That was the best run of the India 35 I ever had. But anyway.
Oh, so bad. So Mike Morrow, what maneuver are you kind of white knuckling to do right now?
Outside squares.
Okay, and that is a doozy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I fly by myself, so I can do figure eights and loops and overhead eights and that kind of stuff. But the squares, I don't know if it's trimmed right or not. I just do the best I can with what I got.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you'll get it with Mark, he is about as knowledgeable as anybody you're gonna find, and you can get him to look at your plane, and he'll help you a lot.
All right.
Hey, suggestion on outside squares, when you're starting on top, that dive, the ground comes up pretty quick, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
Just a suggestion, when you hit that first corner up there, really hit it hard. I mean, as hard as you can to make a 90-degree turn, and that will slow down the airplane. Don't kind of ease into it, just hit it hard. That'll slow down the airplane, and the ground won't come up quite as fast.
Okay. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Keith?
Yeah.
If you keep looking at that chiseler, it's still gonna hurt.
Well, hey, I was going to talk about that. Somebody asked about, is it better to, what's best, have a slider or do these little hole things?
Right.
Yeah.
And to me, the slider, you end up with a great big wide slot across the whole tip of the airplane. Here you got little holes there with the thin slots in there. And those holes are like 3/16 of an inch apart. So you move one eyelet one direction or the other, you've effectively changed the center line of the lead outs by 3/32 of an inch. So that gives you enough, I think, enough of a fine tunability to make these things adjustable to find the right place for your lead outs. So,
Keith, do you embed some kind of hardwood or something like that for that piece? Is that a
well,
piece of pine or bass?
I used to use maple. That that was kind of difficult to shape, and that's just that's basswood on there, and it keeps the thing rigid enough where they don't spread apart when you put the eyelets in, and it works.
And you don't have to put any kind of adhesive or anything like that to safety that they hold that thing in? It's just a press fit?
Just a press fit. And I would think that if it starts getting to be too loose, just put a couple coats of clear dope in there, and that will snug it up enough to
Clear dope. Hadn't thought about that. That's a good idea.
Just coat it with clear dope before you put the eyelets in, and let it dry, and that'll snug it up enough to keep them. There's nothing going to force it in or out. I mean, there's nothing going to pull it out unless you try to pull it out. The line drag won't pull them out unless it's really just in there loose.
I'm gonna have to call him tomorrow and order some of those. That's neat. Call him before I forget it.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, I've always used the slider, but everything you just described is right on target. It's always that slot, and there's no graceful way to finish that thing off. So,
and this is a lot lighter too, besides the ugly slot. Yeah.
When I had
the only way I like the slider, I got a few I've been able to put right on the outer edge, but
I had a brass one get loose. I just put a piece of Scotch tape around it, and I just pushed it back in, and that worked for a while.
Little piece.
Go ahead.
Jim.
Go ahead, Howard.
We use little pieces of paper towel if they're loose.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. That's a good idea.
Jim Hoffman, go ahead, Jim.
Well, one of the things that may not be obvious as you're looking at a finished part, I build it in 2 halves. And I put, I think it's 1/64 plywood at either end. That creates the slot. And then I put a piece of, say, 1/64 balsa in that slot. I don't glue it in, I just stuff it in there. And then I clamp it all up, and then I drill the holes with a numbered drill so that that balsa wood is sacrificial. And then when you're done, you have a nice clean slot and clean holes. And I prototype quite a number because that press fit has got to be just right, not too much, not too little.
Right.
And once you need, I have numbered drills, and that makes a big difference. And I use pine as often as I'll use basswood.
Oh, that's cool. I've only used bass, but I'll try pine. That sounds a good option as well.
Well,
Let me-
I'll drill the holes on a drill press with a block of wood on the drill press. I try to approximate the angle of the lines coming out from the bell crank. So they're sort of angled a little bit to match the direction towards the bell crank. And then after the holes are drilled, I take the end cutting tool, the Dremel tool, and cut the slot.
Oh, that's a good
And
idea.
every gram you save there, you save an equal gram on the outboard tip.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
People that struggle with trying to save weight, that's a big savings. That
It is.
design difference.
That's a good idea. Let me welcome Mark Lumen. Thank you, Mark, for coming in.
Hey, Mark. Howard,
Yeah.
can you show the front of the dog? I want to see that. It looks like you've got a scoop going into your motor. I want to see that thing.
Yeah. I was looking for a raw lead out guide. I don't see one. Let me go over to the airplane.
While you're doing that, let me catch up on the chat box. Jeff Riley answered your question, Phil. He says the junkyard dog is on the paint stand, getting a coat of white next week. Then the Cox super chipmunkish paint scheme. Oh, very cool.
Cool.
And,
Very neat.
And Jonathan Caradas, he says, "Hi guys, better late than never." That's true. And then he goes on to say, "Do you put a drop of oil in the eyelet
No.
or outlet to on the tip?"
Actually, I do.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I have too, John Caradas. I've done that too when I had the brass, because I was just want to make sure that it would stay slippery. So I put a little bit of oil.
Can you make Howard big a minute? I want to see the front of the dog. He showed it there for a second, but I didn't get to see it.
Sure, one second.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I'll be darned. That is neat.
That's
Very nice.
a piece of carbon bladder tube. In
All
combat.
right.
So what's
That's
that
very
inlet on the
neat.
side? I see they scoop on the bottom and then you have one on the side. What's that for?
Oh,
Cool the
that's
motor.
there. There's another.
That's great.
Hey, Howard, can you
Yeah,
show,
Howard.
can you show the rear motor mount for that electric?
Probably. Let's see. Let's look in the front of this. You can't really see it.
Is it a G10 mount?
No,
Okay.
you can see it there, kind of. It's half-inch balsa with some carbon cloth on either side.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that
I
through
got-
the firewall? The motor goes through the firewall on that?
No, it's
Okay.
up against it. I'll see if I got one that's not in an airplane.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, keep talking among yourselves. And
All right. We will keep
Like the
talking.
Jive Combat Team is back in business.
Yeah, I think that's might be a residual of Philip.
Yeah,
Phil
that's
Gunderson. Some of Phil's
Well,
stuff.
we're going out.
That was his number one teammate. I mean, so yeah, the whole combat team, the
Yeah.
whole stash is right there now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a lone jiver now. I travel through the West on my great white steed, and I wear an 5 mask.
You gotta love Howard since he.
Yeah,
he's
dude.
That
he's
is
just
funny.
out of-
That is
Yeah.
funny.
that's neat.
So we have Edward Carlisle in the audience, and he says, like, sent. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Edward. And we're up to 23 concurrent viewers and only 19 likes. Not only, but I'd like to at least get as many likes as we can. So if you haven't smashed the like button, please do that. Don't forget to consider joining the Stunthangar YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month. That's less than 17 cents a day, and that really does help. So what you got there,
There you
Howard?
go.
After a good deed, before I ride off into the sunset, I give them a silver vortex generator.
Oh, cool.
Put it in their front left pocket, right?
Silver VG.
That's it. Who was that masked man?
Oh Lord.
I got a video for that Howard might like of some of the it's not control line, but yeah, I've been teaching jet upset all week. Yeah, in the simulators down here. A Boeing man might like it. Yeah, if I can figure out how to find it. If it's right.
Yeah, you should be able to share it. I have a comment from Jack Fastnot. He says, for Mark Wise, any news in moving the gnats around?
Yes.
All right.
All right, so here you go, Howard. Here's all your Boeing work, hard at work with, like I say, teaching jet upset in the 7-3 this week. And,
so you on the right side, Mark?
Did you just roll that thing?
Just say horizon's looking kind of off kilter there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he did roll it.
well, it's basically it's part of the jet upset program where you teach everybody should teach pilots what to do if you lose control and you have a jet upset at altitude and stuff like that. Yeah, for me it's kind of the funnest thing in the training because then you actually get 157 do a wing over.
Well, don't you roll it one way and then tell the guy he's got to unwind it?
that comes later on.
Oh, okay.
If they screw that up and they spin it by mistake, then they learn that. So.
Oh Lord, yeah. If they spin a jet,
Anyway.
that could be a bad day.
It's about 8,000 foot recovery with the 7.3 with its spin. So.
Is that simulator accurate in oddball maneuvers like that?
It is actually, and that's one of there's about 2 or 3 that they put a stall box in. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Howard, but it basically we're the Boeing engineers. They come in and check the control forces and the deloading, and they put it in a stall box, and you take the force they're putting on the controls and the electronic quote external forces, and it's supposed to match perfectly. Yeah.
Wow.
So if they get red in the stall box, that means they made the wings clap hands above or below the fuselage. So that's a bad thing. Yeah.
That's a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything at extreme angles of attack or anything.
It's basically started the past 4 or 5 years, basically with some of the the Max, some of the recovery maneuvers and stuff that maybe should have been taught. Who knows? Could have made a difference. Maybe it would have. could have maybe, who knows? But anyway, I just bad to control line. I just thought it was
Wow.
interesting.
Hey, Charles,
Yeah, Mark.
someone had a question, I guess. Was that a call in or?
No, it's in the chat box about the how's the moving the gnats going?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just take a minute and try to be as politically tactful as I possibly can.
Alrighty.
I propose this to the rest of the executive council, which is basically myself, the vice president, secretary treasurer, and the 11 district directors. So about 14. I did not get a lot of support. And it did not leave me particularly happy, because all I was suggesting is that we investigate the possibility, with the parameters being, if we're going to do this, then we really want the whole control line community to do it as a group. It would make a lot of sense. That might limit things, but at the same time, I think if you don't investigate it, then I don't feel like we're doing our job. There was more interest in a regional Pampa event. And I personally have some interest in that, and I can talk about that for a minute. So right now, the idea of moving the gnats, I've already told AMA that we're going to be back in 23 without question. You know, we're going to be there and we're going to be flying there. And my proposal was never to get out of Muncie. It was to see with the AMA's blessing, if every other year it could move somewhere else and then come back to give more people a shot at flying at the national championships. One of the issues I have with talking to the district directors about that is that I don't want me or them to talk for our own good. I want them to be representing, and me representing, the Pampa members, as well as stunt flyers who go to contests. So I think the most fair way to be sure is somehow get feedback from Pampa members, because this could still be a couple of years, 3 years off. Who knows? Who knows? But I think at a time when membership is being very important, we don't have 2,000, 3,000. It's the thing about either you bring the horse to the water or you bring the water to the horse. And I'd rather do everything Pampa can possibly do to grow the community. So we're a little bit at odds. I mean, all the guys are good guys. And I think personally, I think it's more of an interest of how much work you want to do. And I don't mind doing work. So it's on the table. It's not being well supported right now at the district level as far as district directors go. But our job is really to reflect the wishes of members. And I personally can't imagine too many members, and I'm just guessing, who would say no if you say to them, we might be able to get an event closer to your house. I just can't imagine them saying no.
Yeah, I know. Who wouldn't?
Then again, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So but let me tell you about part 2 of that. And I'd love your feedback, and I'm going to try to get everyone's feedback. And the idea of this is, and it's just an idea. I've always thought it'd be good to have an event where you can only come to the championship if you've earned the right, rather than just anyone who wants to come. And the thought being, could we have regional Pampa championships? Not AMA championships, Pampa. Of course, we fly CLPA. And would there be a way to take the top 3, the top 4, some indicator, and put them together at the Nats to fly for the Pampa championship? Okay, so there'd be one maybe in Muncie, maybe they'd be one somewhere west, maybe one possibly in, I don't know, Dallas, somewhere in Texas, maybe one at Triple Tree or somewhere toward the east, and try to time these events where we would know who's coming to Muncie for the fly-off. And that would be, you'd have to earn the right. You couldn't enter it. You can enter to win our national championships, of course, for AMA, but you couldn't just enter this. You'd have to earn the right at the regional level. So any reaction to that? It's just a thought.
So you go to the nationals and
I see you, Keith.
you not only be competing for the Pampa Nationals, but the AMA Nationals will be a separate thing, so you could win them both.
The
Is that what
AMA
you're saying?
Nationals will still be top dog. You know, the Walker Trophy is the ultimate. Whoever wins a Walker Trophy, you know, that's the pinnacle of the Nats to me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
I think it sounds like a good idea, Mark.
Who said that?
Mark, they
I did.
used to do something similar years and years ago. And I wonder why they quit doing it. I like the idea, but there's a reason they must have quit doing it. And I wonder what that reason was.
There's no reason.
Hang on, you guys, hang on. Keith's been very patient and he held his hand up. And so when you see someone raise their hand up, let them go before you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, Keith. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, I think John was thinking about something that went on years and years ago when Doc Jackson was running the team trials, and he'd run team trials for all three events, speed, stunt, and team racing. And he had a system set up where you'd qualify to go to the team trials. And it got to be sort of an administrative nightmare about how you collect points at AA contest, AAA contest, or whatever to get to come to the team trials. And as it all boiled down for team trials anyway, that whoever wanted to come, that gave us a good pool of people to select a team from anyway. So trying to collect points to qualify for a team trials, or in this case, maybe collect points to come to a championship thing. In some areas you have a lot of competition, other areas you don't. It becomes sort of a administrative nightmare, I think. So.
Okay. Well, my thought on this is, if you can't move the Nats, I'd sure like to find a way to get people to fly, if they want to, in an event that's important to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Beyond their region. And just as a thought, and I happen to send a note to Paul today, Paul Walker, just asking him how many people they get at the Northwest Regionals. But for example, the easiest way to do this would be to get an existing contest to agree to participate in this. So maybe the Northwest Regionals would be a Western Regional if they were willing to do that.
And there's a couple contests in California and Tucson beginning of the year that there's good participation in. And
yeah.
So that would be
again, I don't know if this makes sense. I just have this hair up my butt that I just feel bad for people that would love to compete in an important national event, and economically, time-wise, whatever, they just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that just bothers me. That's all.
Another idea, Mark, and I'm almost afraid or hesitant to bring the subject up. We could maybe put a questionnaire in the Stunt News.
There you go. I like that. That's a good idea.
But questionnaires are really, really tricky. I tried to do that several times in the beginning of the Pampa days and Stunt News. First off, you don't get an overwhelming response. Second place is a second thing to consider is the wording on whatever your questionnaire is has to be very, very carefully worded.
Yes.
So you're not getting a preordained result.
Right.
And Wynn and I went around a lot because he'd asked some questions. I said, Wynn, we can't do it that way. And we went around and around, and a lot of our questionnaires didn't get anywhere. So, but something to think about. But like I said,
appreciate that. Those are good comments. And I know Howard would agree to receive all the results and interpret them for us.
Yeah.
Let me let Stephen McBride in. And
Thank
welcome,
you,
Stephen. Thank you for coming in, Stephen.
Thank you. I like this idea. I like what you guys are saying and what you're talking about. And Mark, your idea of an existing contest and making that and turning that into a regional or turning that into something like that, if they're willing to participate and make that, is a great idea. Do you look to have that somewhere during the course of the flying schedule year, or would you want to make it an end of the year regional national championship or something to that competition level to that point? And the reason I'm asking that is one of our contests is one of the end of the year contests, and the way I've been promoting it. And this year we're doing something even different to make it more of a championship event. Definitely interested in doing something like that to make it more of a championship event for years to come. And any ideas you want to suggest to that, I'd be withholding. I'd definitely be interested in to promote our event as we are an end of the year event.
Okay. I really appreciate that. I don't know the answer to that.
I understand it because it was on a limb that you just brought it up right now, but that's why I figured let me throw it out while it's part of your thoughts.
No, I appreciate that. I feel like Steve and I live on a limb, and someone's handing me the saw. But if it were to be flown in Muncie at the Nats, I think that would dictate a lot of which contest it could be, if they're all going to be in the same calendar year, which I think they should be. So I don't know if you'd be willing to maybe help me, give me a little feedback. What you do, that might help me a lot and help the board.
Sure. I don't know. Are you able to make it out and you can see our event this year? Would you be able to make it out to Las Vegas weekend of November 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th? Actually, the events are the 4th, 5th, and 6th. You can see what we're actually doing and promoting this year, which is different than we've done any year in the past. And I'm promoting it as more of a championship event. So, and there is a stage limit to that promotion, to that championship event. If you're interested, definitely come by and take a look at it and give me some feedback of what you think on how we're doing that.
I appreciate that. I'll look. I know the 6th is my birthday, which I try not to observe as I get older. But let me see what I can do about that. And hopping on a plane is not the most difficult thing. So can I throw out one more thing, Charles?
Yeah, go ahead. And let me see what Dennis has to say, though. Go ahead, Dennis. Adamson.
Okay. I like everything you're saying, Mark. I think the issue we're trying to address here is how do we get more people to attend the national championships, and then so attending a regional to qualify to go to the nationals that I could go to anyway. I'm not sure that we're going to be attracting more people to the nationals just because they flew in a regional event. Okay.
I don't know if we would either. When I look at some of the contest results at some of the the bigger contests, there are some pretty good guys there that I never see in Muncie.
Okay,
so
and I wanted to show this off here.
I
have one of those. Read that or not?
Hang on. Now you're big.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
This is the League of Silent Flight, the sailplane folks.
Yeah.
They used to give permission to clubs to go with a special regional LSF regional championship, and they'd get these great big mugs and everything like that, were the trophies etched with the LSF logo and stuff like that. And these were not the ordinary contests. To do this, I don't remember all the criteria. I can look it up if there's any interest and see if we can build on it. But basically, any club that was running a big contest could have their contest designated as an LSF regional, and the LSF would participate in supplying awards and things like that.
Go. Okay.
This was done with a group I was flying with down in North Carolina, in fact, and I lived there for 6 months there back in 2001. And the idea of having an important looking Pampa regional championship might be something that helps tie them together. You know, it is a trophy, granted it is a trophy, but it's a special recognition that for whatever reason, whether it's something like the big meet out in Las Vegas that is at the end of one season, essentially almost virtually the next season, you know, if you're looking at a yearly thing and stuff. Well, Las Vegas could run their own Pampa recognized regional championship for that area. And same with the Pacific Northwest folks with their, with their big meets. There's some big meets down in California. Certainly the contests like the King Orange used to be a fantastic major all modeling event.
Absolutely.
Everything like that, but it's still an awfully important historic event. But there are a lot of big regional meets that might qualify, they might want to investigate this. And then from Pampa's standpoint, you'd have to establish some kind of criteria, minimum entry or something like that,
Right.
who's expected and things like that. But there might be possible to unite them through some kind of special recognition. And of course, highlighted in the newsletter and stuff like that, just not just contest results, is hey, Pampa Regional held in, Lower
Right.
Florida or something like that.
No,
Anyhow.
I think that's a great idea. And Dennis, my primary goal with all this is not necessarily to get more people to go to the Nats, but to get more people into control line stunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you have a contest, maybe you get, if you do it right, you get some interested spectators to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can just draw more people into the hobby and into the
Mhm.
competitive end.
Yeah.
So
Very well agreed.
yeah. Oh, so the last thing, and I'm sorry to be taking this time. I think you all know by now that 2023 is the 100th anniversary of our parent company, the Academy, and it's our 50th year at Pampa. So I've been asked by the heads of AMA, could we do something special? And without even thinking, I said yes, because I'm sure there is, as far as AMA is concerned. So we're thinking, is there a flying event that would be special to a 50-year anniversary? I don't know the answer to that, but it's just a thought. We are going to have a banquet, and we're going to invite not just anyone who happens to come to the Nats, but those of the order of a Keith Trossel, of a Jim Vornhold, of a there's so many guys out there that deserve at least a nice dinner and maybe some padding in their wallet to make the trip a little more reasonable, and maybe something like a plaque of appreciation. And right now the thought is maybe to do it right on site in that big training room next to the museum. I think it would be better received if it was right on site. So I have a volunteer, Mr. Hunt, who said he would kind of honcho that to look into it to see what the numbers look like, talk to AMA and maybe talk to Alan, who lives out there, and see what the catering situation is. And I'm saying that because it'd be great if we get a really nice turnout, especially for us, as Pampa. So as soon as I know the dates, I have 2 meetings coming up a week from, actually the same day. No, a week from Monday, all the SIGs have been invited to talk to Tony Stillman from AMA, who's in charge of competition, about the Nats and how we should be running it and what we should be doing. The next day, I have a one-on-one with Chad Boudreaux to talk about, some things that are not resolved as far as I'm concerned, but he knows we're coming and he knows we're excited about it. And I have some ideas that I want to bounce off him. And after those meetings, of course, I'll share with you what goes on. One of the things I can tell you that came out from Tony Stillman as an idea, a recommendation, was to see if we could run our Nats without Saturday, without the final Saturday. And the reason for that is that there seems to be a movement to see if the Nats at Muncie can be run more efficiently, maybe shorter, and that maybe mean saving money to the people, to the AMA, for what they have to pay to keep that property open for the contest. I don't know the reasons. Honestly, I don't care a lot. And the note to me said, if you have any concerns with all this, bring them up at the Zoom meeting. Well, the Zoom meeting is going to have 35 people on it. And personally, I don't want to count on that. So I sent a note back to Tony and I said, Tony, I just want you to know right now, I'm not in favor of this. One reason being we're trying to figure out for next year, if we do have a bad weather day, how can we get the event in 6 days? I said, secondly, we're going to have some special events going on for the 50th and your 100th, and you're pulling a day away. And I'm also concerned once you pull one day away, is it a couple of years later you pull a second day away? So he sent me a note back and he said, I respect your opinion. And we did this all from a chart that Yolanda came up with on how much time is really being used. And of course, I answered to that. There's a lot goes on between events. There are pilots meetings and there are appearance judging and there's practice time. That's absolutely, you can't cut all the practice time out. And we're going to have a banquet. So he got back to me and he said, point well taken. This is not in concrete. But my feeling was if I didn't say that, it would have been in concrete. So, we have to stand our ground respectfully. And so I'm just running with the ball. And as soon as that meeting's over and I tell the board what happened, I'll let all of you know, because it's transparent. I don't have two sets of books for running Pampa. There's just one.
Very, very cool.
I hope you'll all come and support what we do and fly and encourage those who absolutely have the right to be there because of everything they've done for us. And I hope we can get a bunch of those guys. I think Keith said he's going to try to come. Jim Vornholt said he would come. So one of the things I know we need to do is decide when the banquet will be so people don't have to spend 6 days in a hotel waiting for a banquet. So any thoughts you have on that, please contact me or your district rep, if you know who that is. I hope you do. And we'll just try to do what's best for the most people.
Very cool. I have a hand raised by Howard Rush. Thank you for your patience, Howard. Go ahead.
Hi. Well, trying to say this without rambling. First, one thing I liked about the Nats is that anybody can go, anybody can participate, anybody can participate and open.
Absolutely.
I think that's swell, and I wouldn't want to have any event that would be restricted in its participation. Now there are two schemes that have increased participation in regional contests, and the first was one thing that happened when we formed MACA, the combat organization, 50 years ago also, was that we would have a killer of the year. We would pick an overall points guy for the year as a result of contests attended and placings. And that got me for one to attend a lot of contests I wouldn't have gone to otherwise to compete for this killer of the year thing. And it's still on. They pick a top 20 every year. And I think it increases participation. Another thing that increases participation is the World Cup series. This is a series mostly in Europe, but in other countries too, where people compete and accumulate points over the year, and the overall winner is given the World Cup. Igor always wins for stunt. So there's two notions.
I personally like both. Mike Lonke and I told me about the MACA several months ago. And Mike, I can't remember the name of the guy who runs the organization, but he and I have chatted because I really like the idea. And I think Mike said that, doesn't that the top 20 names go on the t-shirt?
Yeah. Did you talk to Andy Mears?
Yeah, that's Andy. Yep.
You did. Yeah. His wife, Arlene, runs MACA, and they do a MACA top 20.
Yep.
And what it is, any AMA sanctioned contest that you fly in combat, whatever events, you get points for placing. Obviously more for first, less for second and third. But I think you get points for just showing up. Like your placings through the whole meet, you get some points, and it's cumulative through the year, through the calendar year. And at the end of the year, they do a MACA top 20, and there's an overall winner, which would be Howard's idea of the killer, right? The top guy is the killer. He wins the MACA top 20 for the year because he attended the most contests, and not necessarily the most contests. He placed the highest in the most contests and accumulated the most points. And then they do a MACA t-shirt with the logo, and on the back are the top 20 guys with their points and their rankings. So that's kind of a little vanity thing, you know, to have a MACA top 20 shirt and be on the shirt.
Yeah, I personally like that ever since you told me about it. And Howard, you just reminded me. I like both of those things. Again, I'm just, no matter how it happens, I would just like to feel that next year and the year after that, and as long as the board and I are working, that we find success in getting more folks out there with a handle in their hand. So
the carrier guys do this same top 20 thing too at the end of the year.
I'm sorry, Keith, I didn't catch that.
The carrier guys, the carriers,
Oh,
Carrier Control Line Society, whatever they call themselves, do the same thing, a top 20 list at the end of the year.
okay. Okay, well, this is, you know, one of the things I really enjoy about being on this forum is the feedback. Because actually, it's a lot easier to get feedback from you all than it is from the board. So, and that's okay. They're all good guys. That's not the issue. But thank you for your feedback, and I really appreciate it. And I always write down notes after all of them, so I don't forget what's going on. But thank you, guys.
You know, I came in pretty late in this hobby, and so I've been to the Southwestern regionals, and I hope to go to the Northwestern regionals. But I was always curious what that designation of regionals meant, and I don't know if anyone has an answer for me, but I was always curious about that. You want to say something, Jim? Maybe you can tell me about that. You can? Okay.
It's just it's just a title that somebody.
It's a title, okay.
Well, let's put it this way. Up north, we used to have the Michigan State meet. All right. To me, the region was more than one state. All right. Happened to be in the same area. So.
Okay.
So Southwest, I guess I get an image of California, Arizona, Nevada, whatever. Northwest,
Mexico.
you know, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, or whatever.
In some ways, these names linger from 50 years past.
Sure.
Well, that's what I was referring to when I said that this may have been tried at some point in the past or started or whatever, because Buckeye used to be a regionals, and there were a lot of regional contests at one time. And my understanding, and I was just a kid, so I don't understand too much about what was going on back then. But it seems to me that there was a point accumulator or something where the guys would compete at the regionals, and then they would be eligible to compete at another contest. But I'm not sure on that, and I don't know why they stopped doing it, because if it was such a good idea, they wouldn't have stopped.
Well, the Plymouth Internationals were set up on that model too. And your local Plymouth dealer, if you want to meet, I guess they'd help pay your way to the international championships in Detroit. But I don't know that we have any, we don't have anything like that. They lasted, their model, they lasted 7 years. Heck of a meet. You see you still see the newsreel films on YouTube and all that. Had to be a lot of fun. But I don't know.
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, the world is an ever-changing place. In my opinion, at this time and place where we are, having a control line contest and restricting the entry, I think, is not the smart move. As a matter of fact, at VSC, every decision I make is based on how it will affect participation.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to give anyone the impression, and all this is an idea. It's not going anywhere. That I'd like to get more people involved in the competition. Some of them cannot make it. And the only idea was is to not change anything we're doing. We're running the event for AMA. But I also think we have a right as Pampa to consider, could we have another event there? And that one would just be qualifiers. If that's a bad idea, it won't be done. I'm not suggesting that everyone who comes to the Nats has to go through a qualifier. No, not at all. Not at all.
Right. Yeah,
So
but a special side event, if you will, for those people who.
Well, Jim, I'll tell you that in 2019, when I was the event director, I took it on basically as kind of a full-time job. I did it every day. And one reason was I didn't want to look like a fool. And I don't know, maybe I still did. But, with a lot of work, it had a big turnout. And maybe that's what I'm good at in life is getting more people to come.
Great.
I just want more people involved. I don't want to restrict anything. But at the same time, if there's a way to get people who normally wouldn't come, I think we should just talk about it. And all I asked the board to do was say, would you be interested in studying this proposal? And the basic answer for most of them was not really. And I have a problem with that. And I'll say it publicly because you can't answer it for you. You have to answer it for the people in your district. So, and it's very possible that if we did a questionnaire or something like Keith had talked about, maybe that concept would be thrown out by the members. And that'd be great because you could check it off and say, no, the members don't want to do this. So it's what's hard, I think, about at least the position I'm in, is, I don't want to be Pampa. I just want to be the guy who's taking what the members want and put it into action. So sometimes you're just kind of left up to your own and you try to make the best decisions you can when you don't have a lot of feedback coming from your own people.
Yeah.
So this group is fantastic. So there you go. Thank you, Jim.
Well, thank you, Mark. And let me welcome, we have a new Papa in the house, right? Is that right, Caffeine? I can't hear you. Is that right, Caffeine? You're a new dad, right?
He's shaking his head, yes. Can't hear him, but.
Can't hear you, but I see you got the gray hair, so that looks like you are a new dad.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, welcome. Congratulations, man. That's
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
There
So have
goes
you been
all
doing
your
any flying,
flying
or you
time.
just been changing diapers and making formula or anything like that, or have you been flying at all, or what?
No, I haven't gotten any time to fly at all recently. So yeah, just changing diapers.
Wow.
And how's your wife? How's she doing? She doing well?
She's doing well. She's doing good.
Great,
That's
great,
good.
great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have any idea whether your baby will be glow or electric?
One thing for sure.
Okay.
His hand keep like doing it, like doing
Very
this. So it's going to be a control line flyer. That's for sure.
Right. Very good. Very good. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very
what
neat.
the reveal ceremony is for. Go
That's
Reveal
funny.
ceremony. That's pretty good.
That's good.
Hey, Charles,
Yeah, John.
want a little update on how the SV11
I
is?
do. I was thinking about asking about how's it going.
Okay. I haven't flown it yet. It's not quite ready for prime time. But I did figure out how to fix the tank so I can use it with the engine.
Oh, you talking about a clunk tank?
Yeah, the clunk tank.
Oh,
This is-
great.
What
Great
I did
news.
is you remember I said something about how I'd formed the tanks for the twin flight streak?
Right.
Well, that's what I did that on the, I used the heat gun and a cut off broom handle, you know, because I needed the round end. And then I just heated it up and would put pressure on and work that. And pretty soon I had a nice little groove that the pipe could fit in, and all that. And I've got about a 1/4 inch separation between the tank and the pipe now.
That's going to be neat, except for one thing.
What's that?
I've seen you, John. You're a tall fella. Now you're going to be awful uncomfortable using that broom.
It was the old broom handle that the broom was wore out.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. The trouble I had with that, I did the same thing with a plastic tank. I just wanted to curve in the front of it to give the manifold room to get back, because I was trying to make room for a 8-ounce tank. I think it is round tank in the front of the ombre, and I tried to shape it down like that and used a old piece of dowel rod. I think is what I used, but it works. It did work, and it didn't leak, and it at least on the test end. But that's the plane that the tail kept bending, and I finally put the fuselage over my knee, and I'm rebuilding it. Except now it's glow, as instead of glow, it's electric.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I don't know what Tommy's going to think about that idea, because I haven't broke the news to him yet that the PA65 is not going in it. It's going to be electric now. I've got a 3515 warming up in the bullpen to go in it.
Hey, Phil, while you're talking, I'm curious as I'll get out. How's everything in your neck of the woods? The wind blowing bad? You getting hurt?
Well, it absolutely destroyed my boat cover today, but it turned that thing into shards. But other than that, I think we're going to be all right. It's the worst of it is supposed to be tonight and in the morning. Right now it's raining all get out there, and it's been blowing a double hoolie all day. But I think we're going to be all right. I don't think it's not as bad as it could have been.
And you're on
We've
high
been through
ground
worse.
anyway. You're on high ground anyway, aren't you?
The what?
You're on high ground anyway.
Oh yeah. I'm the highest thing around. I had lived at the bottom of the hill where we used to be.
Yeah.
And when I bought this lot, that's the first thing I saw. That's the highest lot around. That's the one I want.
Yeah.
They kept trying to trade me out of it and get us to give it up to go to one across the street. The one across the street has a veritable river across its backyard every time it rains. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm the highest lot in the neighborhood, and we're on Ridge Road, which is absolutely the top of the ridge. We're at 800, I think it's 840 feet, and everything around us is 800 feet. So
the lightning.
Yeah.
Well, now we do have a problem with that. The radio antenna was kind of like a lightning rod, which is why it's no longer out there. But anyway,
that
if you're keep track of what's going on, and you know what to do. Just we don't want to read about you.
No, I don't. It's rather be seen than viewed.
Yeah.
Hey, Stuart, did you raise your finger, or that was just go ahead?
Yep. I got a question for Mark. In the past times, you had talked about you got kids on the line at an event, and you got a couple hundred people or so. Mm-hmm. Is there any feedback? How many people were interested and kind of got into control line, or no? Or was there any numbers of people?
Yeah. It's very entertaining for the kids, but I wouldn't want to make a living trying to get them to stay in it. Okay. In all honesty, at Triple Tree, maybe we've had 3,000. And
at
least maybe 4,000.
They went through on the handle?
That went through on the handle.
Wow.
I mean, we've had some ridiculous years where it's so busy it's exhausting. But the ones who come back and are in it are older. We've had one of the best flyers we've matriculated is a woman who came with her kids. And I have her daughter on the handle. She can solo, but mom loves it. And her husband's an RC guy. And she flies throughout the year a little bit. She flies control line. So I was talking to a good friend of mine, Will Davis. We're going to be spending 4 days at Triple Tree next week, but not for that reason. We're going to go down and just fly and talk about contests and have a good time. Once the place dries out a little bit. Stuart, I'm honestly becoming convinced that if we're going to grow or at least keep the numbers we get, I think that's a 55 and up market. I really do. I think it's people who have some money, have transportation, unlike kids, are at that point in their lives. They have some money they can spend, maybe looking to retire, looking for activities. And you know what? For me, that would be fine. I don't care if the average age of the group is 65. I don't. As long as we have more people. It's very hard to get the kids.
I think when you look at probably almost everybody here, a lot of us had Cox planes.
Mhm.
And it's too bad we don't have that today, because I think that's the lead into it. Because even the guys on Bike Fly RC too, and almost all of them, it started with Cox planes.
Mhm.
I think it's too bad that that's not available today. So,
Yeah.
and I went out and flew a day or so ago, and the guy, I flew a little ball diamond a mile from my house, and he came over and we got talking, and he says, "Oh, this is the first time I've seen this," So it's like the Cox planes brought it out to people, because people would hear it and they'd run over, and that's what happens. This guy came over and he watched, right? He watched for a while. He says, "Oh, this is the first time I've seen it." So it's just too bad we don't have the Cox planes still available.
Oh, hang on, Phil. Hang on. Actually, Howard had his hand raised.
Yeah, Howard's got it.
Well, I was going to change the subject back to the motor mount. Here's the carbon motor mount. It's
Is that really carbon or is it G material?
It's carbon.
All
Carbon.
right.
I see.
It's carbon cloth pre-preg. I laid it up, and
Oh wow.
Also in the middle, and then there's some carbon tubes where the holes are, so that the bolts don't squish it.
It's a great idea.
Oh, good idea. Great idea.
It works okay.
Howard, is that end grain? I guess it's not.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Phil, go ahead, Phil.
I was just going to say, when he's talking about the sound, well, two things. Let me back up a second. Howard is a master of carbon fiber. Enough said. When I was getting started in this stuff, I was 9 years old, and what attracted me to it was the noise of the airplane. I heard the noise and went up to the ball field to see what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
That's the one shame I have in flying electric, is that I'll not be attracting kids to the field with the sound. That being said, in my county, they gave us Hobby Park 45 years ago, and they passed around 45 years ago, and they passed an ordinance that if you fly at a ball field or a park other than Hobby Park, they can take your flying gear and the car you brought it in. So be careful of what you wish for if you wish for a park dedicated to control line, because it can turn around and bite you in the hiney.
Wow, that's really
I've never heard of it being exercised, but I worked for the city for 30 years, and it is literally on the books.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hang on, John Miller is next. Hang on, Stephen. I'll get back to you.
That's
John.
Well, Phil, that reminds me kind of like what happens to you if you're caught poaching. But anyway, today I was up in Salt Lake at the VA all day. And on my way home, I drove by this big city park there. And I mean, it's just full of trees now. But back when I was a little kid, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, it was pretty wide open. No, there were some trees, but it was pretty wide open. And I remember going up there for picnics with my family, and there were some control liners.
Yeah.
They would come in there and they'd set up, and they had, I don't know what the planes were. They weren't anything I'd ever seen before or since. But they would fly and fly and fly, and they'd tie streamers on the back, and they'd chase each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got my interest kicked up.
Me too.
Now, it's interesting because I learned to fly on a ready to fly, you know, one of those, but it was a KMB, it wasn't a Cox. But I had an aviation drive within my little body when I was 2 years old. I hear an airplane overhead. I'd run out of the house to see what it was.
Me too.
Okay, and I could name, by the time I was 3 or 4 years old, I could name most of the types of airplanes that flew over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to look for in a kid, one that's already got an aviation interest. Now, the problem is aviation isn't the new dog on the street anymore. Space travel isn't the new dog on the street anymore. And so kids follow around in droves, like with a Pied Piper, to what is the latest great interest. You know, and yeah, I don't blame them. They do it. I'd do it probably if I was their age again. I'd probably be right there with them. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're fighting. I think Mark's right. I'm thinking that, though I'm willing to lower it a little bit, I'm thinking like late 30s to up to my age and older. How old your buddy there, Denny? 90 what? Where'd Denny go? There, Denny.
You guys, unmute your mic, Dennis.
91, I think.
Yeah, Wes is 90. He'll be 91 in April, I think it is.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Dick, right? Dick that flew over at VSC.
Yeah.
9 years old.
Yeah, 90 years old. So
Yeah, 9 years old, flying a good pattern too, electric. Cool.
Yep.
Damn good pattern. Right on it.
You ought to see him fly a 25 powered Stuka.
Yeah.
I was amazed how well they could fly that little thing, because contrary to popular belief, that is not an easy little airplane to fly. And Wesley flies it very well.
Yeah.
Steven, did you get in what you want to get in? You had your hand raised.
Well, everybody covered basically the same subject beating on that. I mean, with the noise about it, you know, it attracted everybody. It attracted me. I still have that bug in me that I like that sound, and I get that. And there's one place I do practice at when I do fly. It does attract people and does bring them around, only because it's a commercial lot. But there are the other areas where they complain about the noise. And there was one field that we do have out here that's an AMA sanctioned field. And I was there for years, and now they decide, and then over the time they decided to build housing out there, and now houses, they complained about it. Now you can't fly anything but electric over there because they complained about the noise. So they kill the issue of helping to prospect and bring your younger youth into it, because everybody wants to find a reason to complain about it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you take a piece of paper, and we used to call it career-wise the Ben Franklin close. If you take a blank piece of paper and you put what looks like a cross on it, on one side you put the positives, and the other side you put the negatives. If you were to chart the future of control line, I promise you there are a lot more negatives. It's not even close. The cost of balsa wood, the fact that aviation doesn't excite people today, it's a given. Diminishing land. I mean, I get a kick out of it when I go to other clubs and fly. Frequently, we're on a landfill. I mean, you know, they might as well be dumping garbage on us. You know, it's almost amusing. But we all know the joy in it.
Right.
And I'm just not one who's smart enough to say, well, let's just let it alone. It'll die along with other things. And, you know, there are always answers. It all depends how hard you want to work to find them. I have this gut feeling in the immediate future anyway, that a good place to find a place for control line flying is a private airfield. a
Yeah.
place where people may want to have people come up and maybe consider taking lessons. Little airports. It's already an aviation center. And for control line, it doesn't take that much space. We need an acre, about an
Well,
acre.
and you're not going to be in the flight path with
No,
control line.
no.
RC, I had that experience with RC. We had an arrangement with a small, local airport, and we had a local commercial that would come in from Milwaukee and land there. And we went in one day and there was some overcast. To make a long story short, we were flying. They told us they were coming in, so we landed everything. But after he landed, we took off and started flying again. He swore that he almost ran into one of our airplanes coming out of that cloud. Now, they warned him, they told him that we were flying there. And I'm sure that was in his mind. And he probably made that airplane up in his mind, not on purpose or not out of meanness, but concern for his aircraft and the people on it. And that when he popped out of the bottom of that cloud, there he saw an airplane.
Yep.
All of our airplanes. Well, we lost that field.
Well, Mark, are you talking about it as far as this for an event, or are you talking about that for everyday open flying? That to have that on an airport, and if it is for everyday open flying, how do we get around that with that 5 mile radius that they want you to be from an airport?
We don't have that restriction. Control line isn't under it just became law that we're not under the FAA UAS program.
So we don't have to worry about that 5 mile being 5 miles away from an airport. Okay.
No,
Because
control line.
I was thrown that so many times on me over out here about being 5 miles away from it. And
I think one of the things Chad Boudreaux and I talked about, and I'm as guilty as he is about this, is that we do a horrible job generally. I'm sure there are clubs that do it better at letting people know where the field is and what's going on. You can drive by. I've been president of the Delaware RC Club for years. You can pretty much drive by and not know it's there. The public does not come to the Nats at Muncie, which is crazy. We get a few people at Brodak. I bet you people 30 miles away have no idea that contest is going on. So you can just look at your own thing and say to yourselves, I know it's for you, but if you care about keeping this thing alive, get other people to show up. At least show them what we're doing. One of the things, I forget who asked me the question now, but one of the things we've learned at Triple Tree is that we get people to come down who had no concept of what a control line stunt plane can do and couldn't believe that we're flying with electric power in addition to glow. And that took a lot of the sting away from the early feeling about an unmuffled Fox 35, in your backyard. But people don't know that. And one of the sources that seems to be very good is public radio, that they'll make those announcements.
The local newspaper.
Local newspapers. I don't know who's going to do this, but if clubs could let people know that maybe once a month we have special events for spectators, whatever the heck that means. Let them know you're having a contest. And I know different groups have been very successful at getting a halftime slot for a control line stunt exhibition. And years ago, when Bob Hunt and Derek Barry did that at Triple Tree in front of 5,000-6,000 people on the flight line, they got a standing ovation. And we had more people come down to fly that year. We couldn't even handle them. We were flying 8 in the morning till 8 at night because of what they saw up there.
Yeah.
An all RC event with 2 guys flying on wires. And these people they ate it up. Just ate it up. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're not doing a good job promoting it, that's for sure.
No, we're not.
It's impressive when people do see it. It does catch your eye. It does catch your eye and become more impressive.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me catch up on the chat box, you guys. I haven't read anything on the chat. And Mark Lumen, he had to go because he could not keep the connection with the Zoom in Miami. So, things have been a bit crazy since the hurricane. Well, thank you, Mark, for coming in. And then Jeff Riley said it's hard to get kids because most of the parents don't want to invest the time in a toy.
That's right.
That won't make them any money. And then Jonathan Carradas, he said most parks in Auckland, New Zealand, are off limits for control line. It's an ongoing issue.
That's the way it is here.
This is crazy. It's just,
I'm hoping
the more people get hurt playing little league baseball, with that hard ball getting hit in the face, or than you will with the control line airplane.
Well,
I think
no
Lynn,
question.
Hang on, go ahead, Lynn, and then Phil.
No.
Oh, Lynn, your mic is muted.
That's like, excuse me for saying that, but that's like tomorrow with it this weekend.
Hey, Lynn, your mic was muted, Lynn. We didn't hear a word you said.
I don't believe I'm muted.
No, you're
Let
fine.
Stephen go. Let Stephen go. Go ahead, Stephen.
Go ahead, Stephen.
No, I'm just saying really quick as well. Like this weekend is the ring-a-thon, and I advertised that quite well to get as many people to come out for that ring-a-thon. But like Jeff Riley was just saying about it being a getting the parents invested. Well, they feel it's a babysitting service. They say, okay, I brought my kid here. I'll be back in a couple hours, and they think they just drop them off and go. And I told them, no, you got to be here with your kid to that point. And that's the issue of it too, having the parent always there involved and invested. And that's where the video game came into play, because you just buy them a $400 video game and leave them alone.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, while you're speaking, Stephen, you want to just I think it's kind of interesting what you and your dad are doing as far as expert.
Right.
You want to just comment on that, just to explain to that real quick?
On expert this year, I have a step up setup with that. We have well over 25 entries in expert to this point. Everybody flies 2 rounds. Okay, and it's a full qualifying round. Everybody's equal to that point for that. And I have 10 awards being set up for that. Now, how that's being adjusted is the top 5 out of the 2 rounds. You get your best flight out of the 2 flights. The top 5 out of that are going to be promoted to an additional flight where you are going to be put into a master category for a master flight. And those top 5 are going to fly for the top 5 positions. All 5 do get a trophy. The first place trophy is going to get a first place trophy with the Top Gun Award. And these are your 5 top guns from 1st to 5th. What I'm doing at that point there is the 6th place person now, 6 through 10, is going to be 1st through 5 in expert. So we are now going to make a separate category after your 2 qualifying flights, and you're going to have a master category 1 through 5, and you're going to have an expert category 1 through 5, and that's how that's going to be set. So we're giving 10 awards out this year for expert.
Sounds like a darn good
master
idea.
qualifying round.
Sounds like a really good idea.
So you're still going to have the one flight for
one flight. I'm trying
to. So what you're going to do is exactly what happened at the Nationals this year.
What happened at the Nats? Because I don't want to take the Nats. So
we had 5 guys in the finals, and there was one flight to determine the national champion. People didn't like it.
Okay.
And Howard Long, he got 2nd place at the Nationals, by the way. He got beaten by 1 point.
Well,
oh man.
Part of the problem on that too is that the expectation is that they were going to get their best 2 out of 3, and they ended up getting take one and take it and leave it, But Steven's saying that's the game. You're going in one shot at dawn, baby.
You gotta earn your way to get in there, and you've already earned your way into that master category. So you're already in that master category. You are entitled to an award 1st through 5. Now you're going to prove how good you are in that top 5 to beat up. Now you could be the 5th person and beat everybody out and end up being first as a
Well,
master.
it still sounds like it's giving more people a chance at a trophy, and I think that's a great idea.
All 25 people have a chance to earn their way to getting into that top 5 category, and you earned your way for that additional flight for an additional fly off for a Top Gun award, which is your first place Top Gun, and then 2nd through 5th as your regular.
I think that's a
your
great
Top Gun
idea,
Master
Steve.
Award. And then you have 6th place is actually now first place, and 6 through 10 is going to be your standard 1 through 5.
So it's like
giving 10 awards out.
I don't care.
It's like, so, okay, you guys fly these 2 flights, then we're gonna take the top guys, and you better make it good because you got 1 flight to determine who's the top gun.
You got 1 flight. Yeah, you have 1 flight with that. I mean, I have to look at this as well too. I got over
I think it's a
25.
good idea.
I have 25 entries that are in this already. Okay, that I have judges out there for. So they're judging 50 flights already.
I don't see a problem, Stephen, as long as you let them know right up at the beginning, like you're doing right now.
Like I am right now, yeah. And then I have another 5 flights that are onto that. I mean, at that point, there is going to be 3, 4 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, 5:30. If I decide to do this, we're going to fly. It's going to be dark out at 6 o'clock. If I try to make 2 flights and do it, then you get 2 flights out of it to that point. And I don't find it fair taking the best out of 3, because it doesn't make it fair to the people that means all 25 people would have to have a shot at the best out of 3. Because somebody else will say, I had a good flight here I didn't have a good flight on my first flight, but I had a good flight on my second flight, which put me there. My third flight could have even been better. And I don't want, and it's you got to earn it to get there. You got to fly to win, just like in any event. You got to fly to get there.
Well, the guys that get put in the master's class, they ought to have a little extra pressure put on them because they are the masters. You got 1 shot at all the marbles.
I mean, yeah, and it also makes that challenge for people that are not always your top 10, not always your top 5 that you see at the Nats that your top.
I think it's a great idea.
I have them competitors there. But you have that encouragement to see how well you do against them and how hard you're going to push yourself to the limit to try to beat them or become a part of that top 5. I mean, you have Howard Rush flying in this event. I have Dave Fitzgerald flying in this event. I have Chris Cox flying in this event. Brett Buck is flying in this event. They're all better flyers than I am as an expert, okay? They'll beat me any day blindfolded to this point. But I'll tell you what, when I start my engine up, I get my handle and I'm out there, I believe I'm as good as they are. And I'm going to try to make that top 5, even though my chances are slim to none. I don't care. I'm going out there to be part of that top 5. And I'm going to also let you be there. And that's how everybody should focus and look at it and do it.
Absolutely. It also lets you fly within the same group in front of the same judges.
Yes.
And you get a good gauge of where you are really at.
Exactly.
I think it's a great idea.
It's the same judges. You're flying on the same, everybody's flying on the same circle. Everybody's flying the same conditions, same field, same layout with the whole setup. So it's all about you, how good you are to get there and do it.
You also have a chance to win your first expert contest.
I mean, it makes it a lot more into that point too. I mean, where I equaled out the playing grounds to that point too for a lot of people.
I think that's great.
Where the people that
Steven, I think it's a great idea.
Your mid experts or your lower experts or people that just got started into expert and so forth, it gives them a shot that they can actually become in that top 5 of expert with the 6 through 10.
Yeah,
it gives them an encouragement to doing that, as well as they're going to try, just like I mentioned, to make that top 5 and see how close I can get to being part of that top 5 of people I know I can't more likely beat. For instance, I'll give an example. When we went to Whittier at the last contest they had, and Brett Buck came out with his plane, and a lot of people said, well, I got a shot at second or third, but I can't beat Beck. I can't beat him and stuff. But you want to know something? We all went out there and tried. He flew 582. I flew 564. I gave it everything I had to get out there and beat him. But he beat me on it, and more than likely I expected it, but I gave it everything I had to be out there and beat him. And you knew your encouragement that you had, and it gave you that that adrenaline drive. But you knew more than likely you're not going to beat him, but you knew where you stood. So now I know how much he beat me by, what I have to work on, and how I can try to keep improving to try to get to his level and beat him maybe in the future. But at this point, I have I built up a new encouragement on how to get there in our event.
Hey, Stephen, it's probably a dumb question because I may have lost you somewhere.
No question is a dumb question.
No, this one may be. After your first 2 rounds, when your first 2 rounds are completed, the top 5 get moved to the master class, right?
Correct.
Okay. The guy who came in 6th, is he number 1 in expert?
Yes.
Let's see.
So
Okay, I got
what I'm doing is I have 10. I'm going to have 1 through 10 all together. It's going to show out 1 through 10. Okay. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now they get shifted over and they get put into master class.
Right.
And they have a 1 flight fly off, which is expert master class, where they have to go to fly for a master class trophy and place from 1 through 5. And the first place also gets an additional Top Gun award because they were the top gun for the event and also for the end of the year. Since, as I was mentioning to you earlier, we're an end of the year event that closes out the year for the contest calendar.
Okay.
There's another contest calendar event that is ours, and we are a big, large event now that we came out to, and I'm looking to make it a bigger, larger event, even continuing with this type of program I am starting, and probably will change and alter and advance and improve as each year goes on. Each year I keep making improvements to this contest, so I'm definitely going to probably find new ways to improve it, and it's a stepping stone. You have to try new things and build new things to make it a bigger and better event. But I'm taking the first top, I'm taking the 1 through 10, and the top 5 move over for a master class. They fly you off. First place gets a first place trophy with a Top Gun award, and then you have your 2nd through 5 on that. 6th place through 10 now automatically get moved up 1 through 5 in expert.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Yep, and then 11th is going to be your 6th place on all the way down to that end until you get to your bottom of your 25th entry. So 25th is now going to be, they came in 20th.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're very
good.
welcome.
Yeah, might catch on. Maybe other event directors might even.
I think that's a good idea.
They might copy you. That'd be great.
It's
I want to
something new, something new and exciting to try, and looking to see how you have to try. You have to crawl before you walk. You have to try new things. I'm looking to see how it's gonna work out. People seem excited about how it's going to be, and if they have, and then also take feedback from it so I can improve it every year and make it even more competitive and better each year. I'm looking to build this event even bigger than it is now. And this is by far our biggest year. I got people coming from all over the country.
Yeah, very good, Stephen. You're doing a good job. And tell your dad, I didn't respond to his emails, but that's why I had you explain. Your dad emailed Mike Lonke and myself and explained that. And I didn't reply. I meant to, but didn't do it. So just tell him I did get it.
Oh, absolutely. No, not a problem. I'm happy to explain that.
Welcome, Stephen, Steve Hines. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in. And go ahead,
Hey, Steve.
Hey. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
How's your back?
Today not so good because I put in a water heater for a person, but it's been doing a lot better.
You just put in a water heater a few weeks back. You're not catching on yet, brother. Every time you do that, it hurts.
And water heaters aren't light either.
I thought you were retired, Steve. Yeah, I know it. And I'm going back to put a furnace in next week, so I need a few days off.
I think
you look like a sensible individual. Why are you acting so crazy?
I don't do none of the moving. The guy I'm doing it for, he gets it. He brings the new ones in, takes the old ones out and stuff. It's just putting up the venting, I got to be on a ladder. And ladders just kill my back for some reason. I don't know why.
Your feet don't fit no limb. You ain't no owl.
So
Need to learn how to walk on stilts.
yeah.
I tried that. It ain't as easy as it looks.
I get up on them. It's just getting back up off the ground after I get on them.
Yeah, after you fall.
Oh my God.
I've seen some guys on stilts that are like 6, 7, 8 feet tall. Not me. No way. No.
It's
I'm
like
telling you.
guys that drywall a house on stilts.
Yeah, I've seen them do that.
That's what I did for 40 years is drywall.
Oh, did you?
My buddy's brother can reach up and just hold a piece of drywall with his hand. Puts his palm on it.
Big tall guy.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
We just have a few more minutes, you guys, for the live show, and we can talk more non-airplane stuff in the after party.
Hey, Dennis, did you get a chance to fly that airplane yet?
Not yet. I've been flying other stuff, but I'll get to it.
Yeah, it's about flying season over. We always figure.
Well,
first
that's it.
and
I'm
second.
starting. I've been flying some of the little stuff and supposed to get a couple of nice days next week. So looks like I might get one more chance to get out next week. So
And maybe
that's what we're hoping for.
With that, if you get out that charger and that I sent along and see how you check resistance for the batteries. Because Charles has a question on that, but I was gonna look at, try it, but you got my charger, so I can't.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. I forgot to order that doggone discharger, and I bet the sale's off now.
You can,
oh well.
Yeah, you can check and see, but
yeah, Hobby King. I'll give
but
it.
Maybe you and Charles can talk, and I'm not sure how that one checks resistance. If you have to charge it when it's checking it, or if it'll discharge somehow and check resistance or whatever.
yeah, I think I've got another charger that checks it when you're charging. It checks internal resistance. The trouble with that is it gives you a number, but I've never seen anybody take that number and turn it into useful information as far as, gee, this means the battery is bad, or don't use this anymore. It's something like, well, gee, it used to be lower, now it's higher, but that's about all they say. So
Yeah, well, we're just wondering why it seems like he's using a lot of battery now. And we're just wondering, my thinking is maybe the resistance is
I
going
think
up.
part of the thing is he's burning in those corners right now, trying to get ready for Las Vegas, because he ain't going to settle for no expert trophy, and he can get a chance to be a Masters. All right.
Oh, he's flying. Who's this? Oh, you're moving up to
freaking
expert,
SV11
Charles?
is going to
You're
be
not
on
gonna fly
fire.
Moving up to expert.
Sure you are.
No.
Charles, you want to shot that master, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna fly in advance. I'm really happy in advance.
You guys are getting awful close to last week's topic.
I'm looking forward to tangling up with Gary Gingrich and Mike Lonke and Rick Green and whoever else is gonna show up.
I got quite a few people sitting in advance. I got quite a good turnout for advance.
How many people is gonna be in advance?
So far, I've got about 9 or 10 people already set up.
Very good. That's great.
So
you hear that, Mike?
You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, I know it's a tough class. We got like 9 or 10 in advance, Mike Lonke.
I heard it there. I'm just there to fill out the field and make sure nobody comes in last except me, man. That's all.
Oh, now here comes the sandbagging.
What a guy.
So full of
I'm going to Vegas, baby. I'm going to Vegas for the gambling, the drinking, the nightlife, and if I get to fly some toy airplanes while I'm there and have some fun with you guys, so be it, man.
You out of here, Phil?
You must have your garage door open to the kitchen. Your wife hears
one thing first. I've seen Lonke fly all year. The three contests so far this year. He's flying so much better than he did last year. Charles, be ready, brother. He's coming for you.
I understand.
That new Axioma is flying very well, and he's flying it very well. Michael, what is with this camper I see behind you? You buy you a camper?
No, that's Chris's camper.
Is that the one he had a triple tree?
That's that's the toy hauler we took to Triple Tree. And
okay.
Hey, Chris, what is it? Your wife's pissed off at you and you got to park.
Yeah, Chris is living in my driveway right now.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
He's living it. No, on the way back from Triple Tree last year, we got right out of Woodruff and part of the roof started peeling off a little bit on it. So we had to do a Walmart emergency repair with some Gorilla Tape. And then now that it's not 100 degrees here in Tennessee, he brought it over here on Monday and we've been taking the trim off, peeling the roof back, putting everything back and sealing everything up. So
very good.
Neat.
His house is down the road, but he's got a big hilly driveway and I got a straight one. So we're doing it over here.
Very cool.
So we'll be ready to come
I'm
to
glad your wife ain't pissed off at you, Chris.
No, it's we got to fix it so it's ready for Triple Tree next year. So
That's
we can
right.
go fly control line at Joe Knoll next year.
All right. Well, y'all watch out for Michael because he's pulling your leg that he's not.
I know
ready
he's a good. I know he's a good flyer. I had a friend who judged Mike at the Nats, and he said Mike Smock's a very good flyer.
I watched him at I never remember the name of that place, but anyway, where we went in Atlanta and up across from Atlanta. What is it, Mike?
Canton.
Canton. I don't know why I can never remember that word, but I watched Mike in Canton, and he's come a long way quick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get out of here because I got to get up in the morning. But y'all
All
be
right,
careful.
Phil. Hey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Y'all
Phil.
be good.
I have a
Phil,
few
did
more
you fly
comments.
your Evolution?
Do what?
Have you flown your Evolution?
Revolution. I flew it in Georgia 5 times, I think, and it's flying very well. I just have to get it readjusted. I have to get readjusted to it. It flies much better than my Vector, much different. It turns corners so crazy hard it's not funny, and I just have to get used to it. I put it this way. Train was telling me to hit my wing over harder going into it. Well, I thought I was hitting it pretty hard, but I did like Train said, and all of a sudden I look like I'm doing the first turn for a triangle instead of a wing over. The thing really will turn. It really turns hard. And then he was not happy with my first turn in the outside square, so I was hitting that a lot harder. And it really does slow the plane down quite a bit when you do that. But I'm just not used to a plane that will turn that darn hard. But I'll get there. I just got to get some weather where I can fly. It's been a mess ever since we got home. From there, it's been one thing after another.
Did you put any G-force in it?
It's got a little bit on the tail, but there's none on the wing.
No, in the program in the.
No, I have not used G-force yet. I'm gonna have to get up with you and find out how to do that because nobody I know knows how to do it. Trayan don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. So we'll get it. I'll get up with you one day and we'll try that. I've got another system coming. It's supposed to be here. It was supposed to be here today. Maybe I'll get it Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. With the weather, I'm not surprised it didn't get here. But I have another system coming for an SV11 I'm working on, and we'll see about getting it straightened out and going. But you guys have a great weekend. Looks like we're going to have a very soggy one, but maybe next week we'll have some flying days.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Easy,
have a good
Phil.
one.
Take care.
Take care.
And let me close the show with some comments in the chat box. Jonathan Caradas, he says, our Ringmaster weekend has been postponed till next weekend due to bad weather here. We're hoping to beat the Aussies this year. And then he goes on to say, we expect they train dingoes and kangaroos to fly Ringmasters to get their numbers up. That's funny. So anyways, we're all done. We'll be back on Monday. This is the weekend. Hopefully you have good enough weather. If you don't, do something in shop and come back and share it with us. I'm looking forward to even better weather as we go into our fall. I think our flying weather gets even better. So hopefully I get lots of flights in this fall. But I'll see you guys Monday. So fair winds and tight lines.